Hello dear viewers, welcome to the Musings of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick, and today we are starting a new series, Majo no Tabitabi, otherwise known as the Journey of Elaina. So, I'm sure there are some new friends here, so just to give a quick introduction to my channel, typically I do all my videos in the same way. I'll have an introduction or a recap at the beginning, I'll have my blind reactions in the middle part, and then at the very end I'll have what I call my musings section, which is basically a review of the episode at hand, you know, what I like, what I didn't like about it, and also a discussion portion, if you will. Like, I like to go deeper into, for instance, the mechanics of the world system, the world setting, the context, any references that there may be, basically anything that I do want to talk about or I find interesting derived from the episode or the work itself, right? So I do consider that to be my stronger part in terms of these three sections, so do check it out if you like that sort of stuff. But then again, I will, of course, timestamp everything below, so you can just jump to whatever part that you want. So, since this is the first episode, as usual, I'll do my little introductory to this particular anime, this particular work. I like to go through all the, what I call fundamentals of an anime first. For instance, you know, what is it about, what was it originated from, the studios and whatnot. So in this case, The Journey of Elaina, basically a light novel. It's actually a really well-regarded light novel as well. I think this year in the Amazing Light Novel Awards, which is an annual award for light novels, it ranked, I think, number 6 in the light novel department, even higher than Tensura. So, you know, this really does have some things going for it, right? And the rankings, they don't just reflect popularity rankings as well. It's also the rankings of critics. So, you know, for something that has a topic as innocuous as basically just a girl going on a journey with no particular reason, certainly there is something to be said about this work that's causing many people to like it, and hence why it's adapted, right? Now, in terms of the adaptation, the studio that's doing it is C2C. Honestly, I've not seen one work from them. I don't think they are a very prominent studio, so that does leave a little question mark as to the quality of the anime, but we shall see, right? The cast, though, is terrific. All the main cast that I see so far, that have been announced so far, are seiyuu that I like, so pretty solid on that front. In terms of the staff, the sound director, Fujita-san, is actually also the sound director of some series such as Dorohedoro, such as Saenai, such as, what was it? Oh, I think he does the, what's it called? The Idolmaster series as well, Cinderella Girls and Million Live. So, I think we have the soundtrack to look forward to. As for the rest, we shall see, right? Now, I'll be honest, I picked up this particular work not because of, you know, its reputation or its or, you know, the fact that I like, you know, the what do you call them, the synopsis or whatnot. I just picked it up because I have a thing for witches. It's just simple as that. I love witches, whether they're antagonists or protagonists or whatnot. And hey, a solo journey, that sounds interesting to me. Instead of having, you know, some partners along the way, there's a dynamic to that, certainly, but then there's also something to be said about solo journeying, solo adventuring. So I am really curious as to what exactly the story they can pull off, how they are going to make it entertaining, and I guess with that being said, let's just jump right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, and basically, you guys will probably see a little video on this side. That's really just to allow you guys to sync your own video with me. It's not to let you actually watch it. No, I don't want to get copyright struck or anything. Okay. Nikke. The Adventures of Nikke. Okay. So you're inspired by it? By her. Okay. So, what are men here in this world? Wizards? Okay, so this basically says that witches are something that you can learn to be. So I guess magic ability is innate to everyone in this world. Ooh. The youngest witch in history. Or youngest apprentice witch in history. Elaina. I think that's better. Elaina. Okay. So the world seems Renaissance era? Like 1500s? Something like that? I guess they consider this a nuisance? Or is it just her? Yeah. That's not very nice. No, I guess she is a little bit, maybe bratty? No, we'll have to see. Stardust Witch. Now, there's something to be said about the charm and appeal of, like, traditional witch characters, right? I mean, the ones that actually still fly on brooms, have a black cat, and all that. And of course, the robes and hat as well. Of course. I can see why she's called the Stardust Witch. You can see the stars in her hat. So what do witches usually do? Do you use magic to create that? Or... Okay. It's this kind of scenario, isn't it? Some traditional brewing. What is she trying to do here? So what is it? Test your determination? Test your resilience? Or are you just being... I mean, it's certainly a very traditional kind of... Hmm? Oh, a fight? Ooh. I was kind of wondering, like, what kind of magic is this... does this world actually have? So, yeah, there's attack magic as well. Woohoo! Ooh. Huh. I actually did not realize that we are actually going to be having... I was actually thinking about that. Like, whether or not we actually do have some battle scenes. Apparently the answer is yes. So I'm liking this already. Even more so. Okay, they can use various different elements, so not limited to one kind. So I guess this is a very open kind of magic system. I think if she was trying to kill you, you would already be dead. Oh. Alright. So basically she wants to teach her a lesson, not be so cocky. So what was... Ah, really? Okay. Grudgingly. Couldn't your parents teach you that? Alright, so I guess we're fast forwarding through all this so that she becomes a real witch, right? Otherwise, you can't really start out a journey. Ooh, nice. Okay. This is such a traditional way of, you know, going through all this. So how do other... Well, it sounds pretty cool, actually. Wait, so can you choose yourself, or... Huh. Okay, I was actually just about to wonder, like, do they have, like, a guild or something that they can register at? Or else how do other people know that she's actually a fully fledged witch? You? Are they going to meet again? In reading the synopsis of this story, I've read that, you know, all the characters or friends we meet along the way aren't really guaranteed to come back. So this might be goodbye for good? Daughters are always their father's girls. Of course, always the father's girl. Ah, this is so convenient. I feel like this is one of those series where, obviously when she comes back, the story is going to end. So it's like, what? Only when she grows up she'll come back? No, wait, 3 years passed? Okay, she's already, I guess, still journeying, still adventuring. Alright, I'll see you guys after this. So, there we go guys, that was the first episode of Majo no Tabitabi, and I am pleased to say that I really like this first episode, and I definitely see the potential of it going forward, which is great, because I really want to like this. Like I said, I do love the topic, the genre of witches, if you can call it a genre, and especially in a more classical sense like this, literally witches that still dress with the hat, the robes, flying on broomsticks, brewing potions, using cauldrons and all that. Oh, it's been a while, right? It's nice to get a classic witch sort of setting here. And, I mean, lots of things from this episode are going in the right direction. So let's talk about some of them, right? First of all, the main character, of course, Elaina, or however you want to pronounce her name. So I do like her character setting. So she's basically a genius, but a hard worker as well. You gotta be both to be able to succeed at such a young age and break the records and whatnot, right? So it's a combination of both, right? And then, so they also managed to give her a sort of interesting personality as well. She's not like overtly humble or like overtly heroic or whatnot. She's not that kind of person. At the same time, she does have she's certainly resilient. She's determined. I do like that about her. But at the same time, she does have some more, I guess you can't really say negative traits, because I just find these traits a bit more interesting when they are utilized well. Like she is proud of herself in a way, right? Like she's good and she knows it, but not in a way that's completely off-putting, to the point of being haughty or arrogant, right? So I do like that she has this sort of attitude to her. It adds a bit of personality. It adds a bit of character to her character, if you will. So I do like her personality so far, but of course we are going to have to observe that more and more as the story goes on, as she gets into various situations, and then we can see what she's made of, right? But at least for this initial episode, I'm liking what I see so far. The story itself, by the way, I don't think it's anything to write home about. It's quite a traditional sort of setting as well. The classic, oh, this teacher isn't going to teach anything until because you have to pass their initial trial first, right? They're testing you. They're testing your endurance. They're testing what you're made of. Blah 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 blah. And then after, you have convinced them of your determination and whatnot, then they will actually teach you, and so on and so forth. Now, their little twist here was that she was actually, the teacher was actually hired by her parents, but still, more or less, it's the same kind of thing, right? It's just to bring her down a notch, basically saying, hey, life is full of hardships. Even though you're a genius, you can't expect to just succeed so easily forever. So it's better off to give you, a good beating or a good defeat early on in your life. Otherwise, you might, really you might fall from insurmountable heights, right? Is what they were basically saying. And I do find that to be a pretty good parenting as well. And is it something that she actually needed, though? Maybe. We can clearly see that she is kind of proud of herself, right? That is part of her character, and I actually like that part of her character. But, yeah, it's a good thing to learn this early on, to know that you are not invincible, you are not invulnerable, and you are not infallible. So, kind of an old-fashioned sort of story, I guess you could say. But then again, this first episode is really just to be utilized as an introduction to her, and the story setting anyways. So, let's just move on from that. Now, what really impressed me from this episode, actually, was the actual magical elements being used. Because, definitely, just looking at the synopsis and whatnot, you don't really expect this to be an action-packed anime. You don't expect any... I was thinking maybe there might be some fights here and there. You got magic. You can obviously utilize it in offensive and defensive ways, as you like it. But I certainly wasn't expecting it to the scale of this level, where they were literally firing like. There's magic specialized in these sort of attacking and defensive maneuvers, right? So, controlling the elements, having flamethrowers, having lightning, raining rocks and all that, or energy bolts. Definitely, it has a complete magical system here, or I guess system is a bit of a strong word. I'd say it's a loose magical framework, which is definitely something that I'm interested to see develop as it goes on. Like I said before at the beginning, I like to delve into these types of topics and see the framework of the world, how exactly the weaponry works, how exactly the magical system works, so on and so forth. As far as I can tell from this initial first episode, it's not a very hard-coded, magic system where, for instance, you can only have an affinity for one element, like you're a fire mage, you are a ice mage, that kind of thing, right? It seems to me that this is more a sort of setting where, as long as you have enough magical power, which, by the way, we don't really know if this world works on magical power, like MP, the traditional kind, mana, if you will, or maybe it's just willpower, or so on and so forth. So these are all things that that we can explore as the series continues to go on, but definitely I already like what I see, to see them being able to utilize all these different elements, all these different kinds of abilities and magical powers. We can clearly see some good cantrips as well, such as like some pocket dimensions, being able to store large amounts of items in very small spaces. I was half expecting actually for all the chores to be done by cantrips as well, you have a broom sweeping the floor, being controlled by telekinesis or that sort of thing. But apparently not. They still utilize their hands and feet to go places and to make things. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how the magic system evolves and how it gradually grows as the journey continues on, right? And speaking of which, it actually was also kind of surprising to me that that they literally fast forward 3 years of her journey, right? So she's already been adventuring for 3 years now. But then I thought about it, and I think this is actually a good thing. So we don't need to go through like the initial hurdles of her literally traveling out into the world for the first time and being a novice, right? She's already experienced, so we can get right into the story, right into the meat and goodness, to like what peculiar or strange or exotic situation is she going to find herself into. And she's literally already an experienced witch. She can handle herself, right? So we don't have to go through the growing pains, if you will, of the series, which by itself would probably be interesting, but apparently that's not where the series is going to concentrate its efforts on. So already having an established character, already having an established witch go around and do things, that's definitely quite interesting in its own way as well. And so, yeah, I think really this is just to set the tone. This first episode is just to set the tone of Elaina herself and a little bit of the world. But then from the next episode on, we'll really see what exactly we are supposed to be watching and how the stories actually, formulate themselves, right? And by the way, just to close that thought, I did, like I mentioned in the episode, I did read before that apparently this series is one where there's very, very few recurring characters. So it's literally, journey, meet people, solve problems, or get into some interesting situation, so on and so forth, record it down, and then that's literally it. We reset and then do the entire thing again in the next few episodes, or the next arc, if you will. So is that going to be entertaining? Is that going to be fun? Are we going to miss the old characters? We shall see, right? Like, for instance, Fran, I really have no idea if we're actually going to be able to see her again, because that's in Elena's past, right? So maybe we won't be seeing her anytime soon again, or ever. And I think in the perspective of this series, that's okay. But I don't really know anything about it, so let's just watch and wait and see. And there we go. That's it for the first episode. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Elaina continues to do as she grows up and as she goes to the various different places and meets different people and different things. It's quite interesting, right? That she's a genius, she has all this talent, and yet in her mind, the only thing that she wants to do is go out on adventures, and not even for any specific reason, but just to learn about the world. I do find that very charming and very romantic in its own sense. So, definitely liking what I see so far. Hopefully you guys are as well, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. On time this time, I promise. Alright, and see you guys later.